2. Camera 1.
Well, good morning to you and welcome to the Tennessee Valley this morning as I put on my microphone.
Live, because you've been sitting there drinking your coffee
I've
and forgot all about miking yourself up.
Well, I did because I was so enthralled watching Joe Palo, the director,
run
around here.
And he's going to run back that way
Yeah,
again.
there he goes. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just amazing,
It is.
incredible
It's wonderful to watch him.
We had a technical problem.
We did, just a minute one.
And we were sitting here taking bets on whether or not he was going to get it fixed in time for us to go on the air. So I didn't bother to put my mic on because I was betting against him.
We thought we might look a little squiggly, or we might even be in black and white. We didn't know, or we might not even be at all. You might just hear our voices.
Might just be radio this
right
morning.
now, everybody just cross your fingers and we're going.
Yeah, but we're here.
That's
and
right.
We're glad that you're there.
And it's Friday.
Isn't it a great day?
Hallelujah.
We're supposed to have some guests today.
Yes, we are supposed to.
Adam Lowe said he'd be here 5 minutes early, so I can talk about him. He's not here,
I have not heard him come in.
but I'm going to talk about him anyway. Adam Lowe, Commissioner, 4th District. He was one of the newest commissioners. There was 5 new commissioners elected in this last election cycle in 2010. And he told me last night at 7 o'clock, I got a text from him. He said, yes, I'll be there 5 minutes early.
Well, and bless his heart, he stepped into that commission seat, and it happens to be that his area, his district, was the one that was most severely hit.
Hardest hit.
During the tornado.
Yeah.
So he has been working.
He's been a busy commissioner. He
Yes,
certainly
he has.
has. We wanted to talk to him about that today, but we got our fingers crossed, hoping that he will arrive and be here today in time for us to talk. And then we've got, of course, Robin Ryan, our, what do we call them, Nancy? I don't know.
We call them the movie critics.
I call them critique. I don't know if they're, I don't know. Anyhow, they always give me a critique.
2 funny guys.
They really are, and they're going to be here this morning. Saw Rob yesterday. He just got back from Joplin.
I know, and I really thought that he was going to take a week off and go on vacation.
He needs to. He looked really tired yesterday.
Well, I thought that's what he said he was going to do, because I thought he said last Friday he would not be here this Friday. He was going to take a vacation.
Yeah.
But things change.
Yeah. He was here in town yesterday. He was at the Long-Term Recovery Committee meeting yesterday with me and some other folks, but he was really tired. Of course, he ran a chainsaw gang here in the aftermath of the storms in Bradley County for 2 weeks, took time off work, and then immediately left and went to Joplin to do the same thing out there. And so he is tired, I'm sure. But as far as we know, he'll be here today. And as far as we know, Commissioner Lowe will be here today.
As far as we know. And I have a whole bunch of things to tell people about. So why don't you go ahead and kick us off with the news so I can get the weekend events in.
Well, first of all, I want to tell you how my day got started. I'm not a happy camper.
I know you're not.
I'm just okay. Can I get this? Can I let this out?
If you'll make it really quick, because I have a lot to say today.
I'll feel better if I get this off my
Okay, you go, because I know what you're getting ready to say.
I was coming into work this morning. Everything was happy. I was listening to radio, catching up on the news and the weather, and everything is fine. The music's playing, and I'm coming in. I'm on Lower River Road. I'm actually doing the speed limit.
Which is 45.
45. And I've learned you need to do the speed limit on Lower River Road, because if you don't.
If the sheriff's department isn't out there, then the deer are.
And they usually, one or the other is usually there. I'm doing 45, and everything's right with the world. Everything's good. And I get about a half a mile from the exit there at exit 33, and I look up ahead, and there's a big truck coming up out of the parking lot of Lowe's truck stop. Love's truck stop, coming up to the street, and I'm thinking, well, he's creeping along, he's going to let me pass, and then he'll pull out behind me. And so he pulls up, and he pauses. And by this time, I am 30 to 40 feet from him. Now, keep in mind, this is a, 10-ton, 18-wheeler? And I'm in my little sedan, which I
really don't want to
like. So I'm getting about 30 feet from this 18-wheeler, and is he going to let me pass? No. He just creeps right on out in front of me. I slam on my brakes, veer to the right, almost hit the ditch. I didn't hit the horn, though. I thought about it, but I thought, no, that wouldn't be the neighborly thing to do. So I brightened my lights.
And you really think he paid attention to that?
He didn't care. He just crept right on.
But now that is a place where people need to be seriously careful there at when you pass Love's truck stop. on Lower River Road,
Yeah.
or that may be Lauderdale Highway by the time you get to there, because yesterday several of us had gone over to Olin and Arch for a Blue Ribbon United Way, and 2 trucks pulled out in front of us.
Yeah.
One, and we did get stopped for the first one,
Yeah.
and then we just waited because the second one came on out behind him,
Yeah.
neither pausing or stopping or anything.
Well,
So
I don't want to indict all 18-wheeler truck drivers because they're certainly not all that inconsiderate. They really aren't.
No,
but
they're
this
not.
one was, and I looked at his tag, and he was from Canada. No offense to our Canadian friends, but this truck driver was from Canada, so I'm not going to have any compassion on him this morning. I'm going to say he was a bad neighbor. That's what he was a bad neighbor.
but now I have told you, you need to take the country route into town
One of
anyway.
these days I'll learn. I'll come
I
down
don't know
Eureka
why
Road.
you insist on going out and hitting the interstate.
And running into 18-wheelers. And then I looked down at, just as I got on the interstate finally, after he was creeping along, I finally get on the interstate. So I zoom up to the speed limit, 70 miles an hour, and suddenly I hear this beep, and I look down, and my gasoline gauge warning signal comes on.
So you could have pulled in Love's truck stop and filled up.
Oh, I was past that. I was out
Uh-huh.
on the interstate by this time. So
Okay,
I pull
Dan.
off at exit 27, which is on the way to the studio here.
Right.
So I pull in one of the first service stations there, and you do the automatic thing. You stick your debit card in the pump, and you punch in your numbers, and you pump your gas. Well, I stuck my debit card in and punched in the numbers, and it came up and said, "What is your zip code?"
Yes, and that's your mailing zip code.
Yeah, what is my zip code? And of course,
found that
I
out.
put in a different one because I didn't figure they needed to know that, but they wouldn't have known anyway. But then it just sat there and sat there and sat there, and it never did let me pump
Because
gas.
you didn't put the correct zip code in. You must put the correct zip code in. It must be your mailing zip code.
Oh, really?
Okay, Dan, we have beat this horse to death. Do the news
Well,
for
I
us,
finally, then I had to finally cross the street, and I finally got some gas, and I had about half a gallon left by the time I got here this morning. But bottom line,
day's
I'm
gonna get
here.
better.
It is?
It is gonna get better.
Well, I'm going to do the news.
I hope so.
I want you to know I feel better now
I am so glad you vented.
because I had to get that off of my chest
Mm-hmm.
because I just, there's something
Uh-huh.
about those inconsiderate drivers. that
Absolutely.
just-
Doesn't make any difference whether it's an 18-wheeler
Or a Canadian driver
a
or
little
who it
mini.
is.
You know,
It-
just don't pull out in front of me.
No, don't
Mm-hmm.
do that. And I try not to do that. 6:39. Okay, take a deep breath and exhale, Dan. It's gonna be a good day. It's Friday after all. Let's look at the headline news, then we'll tell you what your weather forecast is. A former UT football player from Dalton, Georgia, 25-year-old Cameron Mayo, was arrested for theft and trespassing after allegedly taking a refrigerator from the storm-damaged neighborhood of Willbrook. Mayo admitted taking the fridge without asking and sold it to City Salvage for scrap metal. Mayo is the 8th person charged with theft in the local storm-damaged areas. A reminder that the satellite FEMA Disaster Relief Center at Cleveland State Community College will be closing down at the end of the business day today. However, the original DRC on Church Street, that's downtown, will remain open. FEMA spokesman Greg Hughes says Bradley County tornado survivors have been assisted in the amount of $745,000. The 10-year celebration of Charleston School kicks off tonight at 6 with an alumni football game, but festivities gear up again Saturday morning at 10 with a full day of activities. The Charleston Alumni Committee and the Charleston Calhoun Hiwassee Historical Society have partnered for the Hiwassee Heritage Festival that's going on this weekend. The day's activities include the Cow Pea Cook-Off. I think that's basically a black-eyed pea. I'm not really sure, but they're having a cook-off. Music by Don Wilson and Boys at Heart, and a sock hop, and there's a whole lot more. So just go up and have fun. It starts at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Actually, 6:30 tonight with the alumni basketball game. The family of 19-year-old Carl Liddy is asking for help locating the New York teen who went missing in East Tennessee. The family says he was on his way to visit his grandmother in Madisonville. The teen was reportedly traveling by Greyhound bus. Greyhound confirmed that Liddy arrived in Knoxville Terminal May 23rd, apparently continued the bus trip to either Athens or here in Cleveland. Liddy is 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighs 170 pounds. Anyone with information about him is asked to call the Monroe County Sheriff's Department. I'm sure his family is worried. A traveling exhibition focused on Tennessee's civil rights movement a half century ago, is coming to the Museum Center at 5 Points next week. I was there last night and saw the advertisements for it. It's called We Shall Not Be Moved, 51st Anniversary of Tennessee's Civil Rights Sit-In. The exhibit from the Tennessee State Museum will be on display through July 20th, so you've got time. Cleveland is the third stop on that summer tour, so check that out, put it on your calendar. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. That's your headline news. Let's take a look at your weather forecast. It's going to be hot today. In a word, hot. That's about all we need to say.
Hot.
It's going to be hot. Sunday, though, look at there. Chance of rain, but it's going to be 96. You can take the boat out because you got a cover for yours, right?
We do have the Bimini.
Yeah, so you can
So we
just
can.
take your boat out and enjoy that hot weather, and sunny on Saturday, and
hot.
and hot. And when you get out on the Hiwassee, though, and you're moving a little bit and the water's cool and the breeze hits you in the face, it's not bad.
As long as you're moving.
Got to
But
be
when
moving.
you stop that boat,
It's hot.
it's hot.
It really is.
It's hot. Doesn't make any difference whether you have a top on it or not. It's hot.
It really is. That's the way it's looking through the weekend. And it's hot already today. It's 69 degrees already. It's 6:42. You're watching the Tennessee Valley this morning. As I told you a while ago, my day got off to a bad start, and we're not sure how the show's going to end up because
No, but I have announcements.
none of our guests have showed. But hey, Nancy and I are here, so
I came prepared. Just
you've
in
got all
case.
kinds of stuff.
Okay, there are still copies of the special edition that the Banner put out
Yeah.
on May the 27th. They're $1 a piece. They can be purchased at, and I'm going to leave somebody out because I left my list in the car, Bank of Cleveland, United Community Bank, Andrew Johnson Bank,
Southern Heritage.
Southern Heritage Bank, Athens Federal Bank, the United Way office, the Bowater Credit Union, and the Banner. And they're $1 a piece, and all the proceeds from this go to the Disaster Relief Fund. It's actually two sections. Abitibi Bowater, donated the paper for this. And on the very back, you'll see the guys on that shift that did that.
And on the very back, you'll also see the mayor's column,
Yes, you do.
right in the prominent place in the
And
middle.
yes, very good, right there. And this is wonderful. It's a shame to say that that this is something you do want to remember, but it 20 years from now, you may want to look back or show this to someone, and then you'll have this copy of it. I remember when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, my mother kept everything. So I now have a nice collection of the assassination of
A
John
record.
Kennedy.
Yeah, a record.
But, what do you do with it later? But, this is current now. Some very moving pieces in here. It's really, really good. And just $1. So pick this up, and the proceeds do go to the Disaster Relief Fund.
It's a great gift. I forget how many copies I picked up, but several. But gave some to friends and gave one each to my sons. And I told them, you look back 30 years from now when you have grandchildren, and if we have another disaster, they'll be able to look at this and say, well, this is what happened,
Absolutely,
in
because
2011.
there is a picture or two of the 74 tornado in here, so you can kind of get a little comparison. I bought several for the Red Ribbon and put them out and gave them to customers when they came in, if they hadn't already purchased one. I purchased mine and then gave them away. So the McDonald Ruritan Club will have its monthly breakfast at the clubhouse Saturday morning starting at 8 a.m. They'll have a baked goods sale.
Yeah.
And all the proceeds from that breakfast go to the Disaster Relief Fund. So if you don't want to cook tomorrow morning, go down to McDonald Ruritan Club. If I'm not mistaken, it's in the old McDonald School down there, and have breakfast and make that nice donation to the disaster relief folks. Also, we have Gospel Explosion, and
That's
it
right.
begins Friday at Shepherd Field.
Yeah.
It's the 10th celebration. It begins at 6 o'clock tonight. And Curtis Bridgman will be one of the featured singers
Well,
there.
that's Charmaine's husband.
That is, and he does have a voice.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you have any questions, you can call 423-987-3356. This starts tonight, and it also goes tomorrow. You also told about the Charleston 100th anniversary
Yeah.
that they're celebrating. It's the 100th anniversary of Charleston School.
School.
And I could get on a soapbox about this, but community schools are vitally important. And Charleston School has been there for 100 years as a center point of that community. It was K through 12 until Walker Valley was built, and so then their high school went over to Walker Valley. And so they start tonight, like you said, at 6 o'clock in the gym with a alumni basketball.
Yeah.
So that should be very interesting.
Yeah.
It's always interesting when people my age think they can go play basketball
Watching
like
them
they
on-
did when they were 16 years
Watching them on
old.
crutches is gonna be fun.
Absolutely. Usually, Sky Ridge will be very appreciative at their emergency room of the extra people we will have. And then tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, it starts with the opening and the Cowpea Cook-Off. And
Yeah.
that is like Crowder peas, black-eyed peas,
yeah.
things like that. Those type of peas, not green peas.
Yeah, it was
But-
originally grown as a feed for cattle, I
Right,
understand.
and Charleston used to be like the main exporter of cowpeas.
Yeah.
So
And someone said, I wonder what these would taste like. I'm hungry. And
that's
so they
right,
cooked up
and
a batch.
so there they went, and then the music, like you said, with Don Wilson and Boys at Heart, and then a sock hop in the gym at 8 o'clock.
Now that brings back memories.
And it does, it certainly does, and most of them good. Most of them good.
Most
Most
of
of them good.
We won't talk about the bad ones.
But Charleston is a very historic part of Brandon County, and oftentimes it's kind of forgotten because it's
Yeah.
on the north end of the county. But very, very important during the Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
During the Indian removal, which we still need to kind of hang our head and say, "Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, we did that." Another thing, Lee University is still in the NAIA World Series.
Yeah.
Now, they were supposed to play last night at 10 o'clock, but they got rained out. And it's a double elimination tournament, and they'd already lost a game, so they had to beat someone yesterday, which they did. They beat them 1-0. And so they were supposed to play again last night at 10 o'clock. It's a rain out. So they will play today at 4 o'clock, and if they win that, they are in the finals.
Wow.
Of the
Weren't they in the
NAIA.
finals last year, too?
Yes, they
So,
were. So
man,
we
they've
need
got
to
a great program.
go Flames.
Yeah.
We need to be sure that you get there and win this time. But, they're going to be a little bit of a handicap because they're going to have to play at 4 o'clock today and play again at 10 o'clock. The team they're going to play is going to be fresh. They're already there. So I think it's Concordia that they have to play if they win today at 4 o'clock. So everybody cheer on the Flames at 4 o'clock today,
There you
and
go.
let's be sure that we get them to the finals because that's wonderful.
Boy, you're just loaded down
Lee
today.
University does so
They do.
marvelous ambassadors for Cleveland
They
and
are.
Bradley County.
And they hosted the benefit concert last week. It was
Yes, they did.
fantastic.
I think, as everybody knows, I have the little Red Ribbon gift shop. Down in the basement is a little restaurant called Rebecca J's.
Yeah.
She's going to start opening the first Sunday of each month
Oh.
from 11:30 to 2.
Didn't know that.
If anybody wants to leave church and come down there and eat, she only has seating for 20, but you can get it to go. Flav said I get that chicken salad to go all the
Oh,
time.
isn't it
That's
great?
what we took every Friday night to Evening Shade was
That's-
Rebecca J's chicken salad.
Just a block away from
So-
my office. I go over there frequently.
Right,
to
so
eat.
this Sunday, June 5th, they will be open from 11:30 till 2 o'clock. If anybody wants to go from church, which you all should be going to lunch, you can do that and have some of that really good chicken salad. Need to get a plug in for the Sunrise Rotary on June the 17th. They'll have Derek Dooley here.
He's coming.
It's a fundraiser, and folks, this county has been so marvelous, but the Sunrise Rotary decided that they would do this as their benefit to disaster relief. And so the money that they make, part of the money that they make off of this will go toward the disaster relief. There are still tickets available, the way I understand it, 244-7484 for more details. I understand that some of the Rotarians have bought tables, and then they're offering their tables to be resold as individual tickets. And then those Rotarians that bought those tables are going to go sit in another room and watch this on a big screen TV.
Oh, my.
So
How nice.
now, how about that, folks? That's good citizens right there. So if you're interested in going, it's going to be at the museum on June the 17th. So call that number 244-7484 and find out more details about that.
I think this is the second year in a row that Dooley has been here.
They
For
had
the-
Mrs. Dooley.
Yeah, Mrs. Dooley.
Mrs. Dooley,
Yeah, that's
his
right.
mother,
Part of the Dooley family.
who
at
is
least.
a wonderful, wonderful gal.
Yeah.
She's a hoot, and so they had her last time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have National Moo Fest in Athens.
That's this weekend.
That is this weekend, and Karen Kelly,
Mm-hmm.
who co-hosts sometimes, is the tourism development gal with the Athens McMinn County Chamber of Commerce. And so MooFest, of course, Mayfields, you know, you need to know that we're talking ice cream, milk, MooFest for Mayfields.
There will be ice cream.
There will be. And Carla Jo Carr will be there, Calling Glory, Just Us. And this should be wonderful. The Blues Brothers Tribute Band will be there.
Fun.
Admission at 2-day pass is $5, 1 day $3, and children under 6 are free. And they're going to have exhibits, demonstrations, and of course, milk and ice cream and all kinds of neat things like that. And Karen would love to see some of you Bradley Countyans up there supporting MooFest because she's working very hard in tourism in McMinn County and in Athens. And you know, I was born in Athens.
Yeah.
I'm an Athenian at heart, but and the first year that Flavis and I went to a McMinn-Bradley football game,
you were torn.
we didn't sit together. He sat on the Bradley side, and I sat on the McMinn side. I told him, I said, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I cannot do it. Now, folks, I will tell you, that has changed.
Time changes things.
Time does change, and I have been here 30 years, so I can still cheer for Bradley. Now, when we play McMinn, sometimes I have to cheer a little for them too.
Yeah, it's a
but I'm, you know, I am now a Bradley Countyan.
You know, it sounds like that if you're out there looking for something to do, wow.
Golly, it's going on. I mean, it really, really is, and there's probably things that we don't know about.
Oh, I'm sure there are. I have one here that you didn't have in your list, but the Bachman Academy's Summer Horse Camp is starting Monday.
Yes.
And that's for kids 9 to 15, starts Monday through Friday of all next week, and a great camp for kids.
It is a wonderful camp. I have friends whose boys have gone there for several years, and they just love it.
And it teaches them all kinds of things, basic horsemanship, safety, but I mean, on a personal level, they teach them a lot of things about character and relationships and things like that.
Right.
So contact, I don't have the number, but they're easy to find.
I don't either.
Just Google Bachman Academy.
Or look in the phone book under Bachman Academy.
Yeah, it'd be easy to find. So
they'll
that's
direct you to whoever.
Horse camp for kids 9 to 15 years. So try that out too. Gee, we just talked away.
We did the first half of the show, didn't we?
Yeah, almost. Why don't we take a break and come back, and I'll do some headline news, and we'll see what else happens.
And we'll see who's here.
Yeah, there may be. You never know.
We may be
We'll
killing
pull somebody
another
in
hour.
off the street.
That'd be
You never
good.
know.
That'd be good.
Back in just a moment.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
I'm Dr. James Markham, host of the television program Heart of Health, seen right here on WTNB television, Thursday at 7 o'clock, Friday at 8 a.m., or Sunday at 3:30 p.m.
Volunteer Ridipest LLC has been serving Cleveland and the surrounding areas for over 40 years. Their qualified, experienced technicians are trained in all the latest techniques to keep your home pest-free. Volunteer Ridipest LLC offers Mosquito Guard, which keeps mosquitoes out of your yard and out of your life. Their monthly and quarterly treatments are backed by their 100% money-back guarantee. For all your pest removal needs, call Volunteer Ridipest LLC today at 423-472-7736.
Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland, is your #1 Dodge Chrysler and Jeep dealer in this area. Stop by and see the brand new 2011 Chrysler 200. The 200 is essentially a new nameplate with a significant facelift to the outgoing 2010 Chrysler Sebring. A beautiful vehicle at an unbeatable price. And while you're there, check out the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the newly designed Dodge Durango. Redesigned, revamped, and reinvigorated. Yes, the Dodge Durango is back, bigger and better than ever. Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep offers a complete parts and service department with qualified service technicians to fix and repair your vehicle. So for your next brand new or pre-owned vehicle, make it Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland.
Good morning and welcome back to the Tennessee Valley this morning. See, I told you we just pulled somebody in off the street.
And live TV.
And we did. Adam Lowe just pulled him in off the street.
Aimlessly running about the community.
He's just out running around. He thought, I'll stop by the studio. We grabbed him.
Why not?
No, we had Adam's schedule last night. In fact, we exchanged a few texts last night, and he graciously agreed to come in this morning.
And we appreciate that.
Adam is a good friend, and he is one of the 5 new commissioners elected in 2010 to the Bradley County Commission. And he is representing District 4, which we were talking about a moment ago. Nancy and I were talking. Your district just happened to be the hardest hit from these storms, Adam. And it's been a real challenge for you and your constituents out there, hasn't it?
Absolutely. You know, recovery's making its way through. And like you mentioned, I think monetarily we got hit worse than any other district. No fatalities in my district,
Yeah.
which was very, very fortunate. But even now, it's still a very scarred district. As you drive through, it's just changed the landscape.
It
It's so
has.
different than it once was.
It's changed forever. It'll never be the same. Friends who live in that area talking about their 100-year-old old growth trees and their big oaks that you can't reach around, and had them for 100 years in their backyard, and now they're gone.
Well, you can plant them now, and they're going to look like this one little flower right here.
Yeah.
It's going to be another 100 years before
Yeah.
we have those trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rebuilding effort it'll take some time. You know, like you mentioned, those trees won't come back tomorrow. And there were areas of that community that were once very shaded, very nice areas, and
Yeah.
people now have lots that are very open.
Yeah, you can see right through it. Let's go back and this is Adam's first time to be on the show. Let's go back and learn a little bit about Commissioner Lowe. You work at Lee University.
Absolutely.
Tell us about your background. You're a small business owner as well. And so just kind of tell our viewers who you are and about yourself, your family, and you have kids, I know.
I've got 3 kids, and that's a big part of my life. You know, my wife and I decided family was very important to us, and we love having children. I think if given the opportunity, we'd have 3 more in a heartbeat. I'm not sure that'll happen. I think 3 probably occupies our schedule pretty well. But yeah, in about 10 years ago, we were able to start a business with 2 partners in the community, Gravel Road Entertainment. Been very active in the community. I've done everything from production at the block party to currently helping with Evening Shade, and most people will probably see most of our design and install handiwork at the new First Baptist Church, which was a wonderful opportunity for us to showcase to our hometown. You know the statement, a prophet is without honor in his hometown.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
it's amazing that we were able to get such an opportunity to show off in Cleveland. But what a beautiful facility.
Oh, it is. And the audio and video quality of that
Oh, it's first
installation,
rate.
it is just top notch.
Our guys at Gravel Road are wonderful. I've been very privileged to own that business, to create jobs and employ people in the community. And I think that was really kind of the predicate I ran for the commission on, was some experience in that realm, and wanted some small business representation on the commission. In 2005, I handed the controlling interest of that company and management to one of our partners, and pursued what really is my career. And that's how I wound up with Lee University a few years ago, which is my undergraduate alma mater. I did a master's with UT, but was able to come back to Lee and help them in the field of philanthropy, which is the field.
Now, what's your title at Lee?
I'm the director of the annual fund,
Okay.
the annual alumni fund.
Annual Alumni Fund. It sounds important.
Yeah, well, it's wonderful. We have very generous and kind alumni. I think people in Bradley County would be surprised to know that the base of alumni in Bradley County is pretty abundant.
Oh, it is.
And it's just a wonderful, I love our alumni. I love talking with them, I love meeting with them, and I love giving them an opportunity to reinvest in Lee, which is an investment in Bradley County. It's an investment in downtown Cleveland. Anyone who's driven down a Coe Street at the corner of Billy Graham can just tell you how that one building has kind of changed the beauty of that drive.
It's such a gorgeous building.
Absolutely.
And it's such a multi-purpose building too. I didn't realize. Of course, I've been to events there, and they've had luncheons, and various kinds of gatherings. I heard the other day that someone's having a wedding there.
Well,
I thought,
I'm
well,
not
hey,
surprised.
what a great setting for a wedding. It's beautiful there on that
Well,
second
the
level.
chapel's not ready yet.
No, the chapel isn't ready. That's going to be a
That's
nice venue,
another
too.
beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful
it
addition
really
to the
is.
campus.
Hope to dedicate that at homecoming, from what I understand.
Uh-huh.
I think that has been a very exciting project for us at Lee University
Mm-hmm.
because it's not a utilitarian building, and Dr. Kahn has said numerous times, this one's special. It really is more of a landmark, of a signal of what Lee really represents, its faith tradition, and what it wants to be, not only to its students, but to its community. And in many ways, that has happened in operations, and we saw that with the disaster relief. Lee students and faculty, just like any other group, were out abundantly
They were.
working and assisting.
And they still are.
Yeah, absolutely. Leonard Center, our service learning programs, dump hundreds of thousands of hours annually in service and volunteerism in this community. So it's great to be at Lee. It's great to share those developments with alumni. It's great to see them reinvest back and see that campus grow.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's 7:01. We're talking to 4th District County Commissioner Adam Lowe, and we've got to take a break, do some headline news. But when we come back, we want to talk to you about your new job and some of the challenges you face and what's ahead, maybe. Don't have to give away any secrets, but we're going to ask anyway.
I'm not sure I have any.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland, is your #1 Dodge Chrysler and Jeep dealer in this area. Stop by and see the brand new 2011 Chrysler 200. The 200 is essentially a new nameplate with a significant facelift to the outgoing 2010 Chrysler Sebring. A beautiful vehicle at an unbeatable price. And while you're there, check out the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the newly designed Dodge Durango. Redesigned, revamped, and reinvigorated. Yes, the Dodge Durango is back, bigger and better than ever. Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep offers a complete parts and service department with qualified service technicians to fix and repair your vehicle. So for your next brand new or pre-owned vehicle, make it Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland.
Volunteer Ridipest LLC has been serving Cleveland and the surrounding areas for over 40 years. Their qualified, experienced technicians are trained in all the latest techniques to keep your home pest-free. Volunteer Ridipest LLC offers Mosquito Guard, which keeps mosquitoes out of your yard and out of your life. Their monthly and quarterly treatments are backed by their 100% money-back guarantee. For all your pest removal needs, call Volunteer Ridipest LLC today at 423-472-7736.
I'm Dr. James Markham, host of the television program Heart of Health, seen right here on WTNB television, Thursday at 7 o'clock, Friday at 8 a.m., or Sunday at 3:30 p.m.
I'm Kathy Guy with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. Call us today for all your personal insurance needs. With 28 years in the insurance business, I have the solutions and pricing you are looking for. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
And you're watching the Tennessee Valley this morning on this Friday morning. Glad you joined us today. Looking forward to a warm weekend. Right now it's 71 degrees. We'll have your forecast in just
You're being
a second.
kind with warm.
I am, Nancy. I'm being very kind. 7:04 is your time. Let's quickly check your headline news. A former UT football player from Dalton, Georgia, 25-year-old Cameron Mayo, was arrested for theft and trespassing after allegedly taking a refrigerator from the storm-damaged neighborhood of Willbrook. I believe that's in Commissioner Lowe's district. Mayo admitted taking the fridge. He is the 8th person charged in theft or looting, basically, in the local storm-damaged areas. A reminder that the satellite FEMA Disaster Relief Center at Cleveland State Community College closing at the end of the day, business day today. However, the original DRC downtown on Church Street will remain open. FEMA spokesman Greg Hughes says Bradley County tornado survivors have been assisted in the amount of $745,000. The 100-year celebration of Charleston School kicks off tonight at 6 with an alumni football game. That'll be fun to watch, those people on their
Basketball.
crutches. What did I say, football?
Yes.
Well, I was
Basketball.
wrong. It's basketball. See, live TV, you make mistakes, you just correct it and go on. But festivities gear up again Saturday morning at 10. That's tomorrow with all kinds of activities. The Alumni Committee and the Charleston Calhoun Hiwassee Historical Society have partnered this year to celebrate both the school's anniversary and the Hiwassee River Days. So it's kind of a joint festivity. And the festivities include the Cow Pea Cook-Off. That's basically a black-eyed pea, I understand. Music by Don Wilson and Boys at Heart, a sock hop, and a whole lot more stuff. Just show up, you're going to have lots of fun. And a traveling exhibition focused on Tennessee's civil rights movement a half-century ago, coming to the Museum Center at 5 Points. You'll want to see that. It's called We Shall Not Be Moved, 51st anniversary of Tennessee's Civil Rights Sit-In. It runs through July 20th, so check that out. Let's check out your headline forecast. Is that right? Yeah, headline forecast. This is going to be a really quick headline forecast. In a word, hot. That's all you need to know. Going to be in the 90s, going to be in the upper 60s. For the overnight lows right now, it's 71 degrees. And the sun's going to shine today, and all is well with the world because Commissioner Lowe is here.
Absolutely.
And we're going to find out all kinds of things, all kinds of secrets now about what goes on at the County Commission. We're glad.
So I think we're like aired live now every time we're on the commission. You know, they don't call it sunshine law for a reason.
There you go, and that's good.
Yeah, I think, in fact, WTNB has a cameraman that shows up every time there is a voting session. Well, I think every session, and it's taped and played back here on WTNB. I'm not sure of the time, but you can find out with your listings. You've been on the commission now, what, about a year, a little over a year?
Not quite, but yeah, I mean, it feels like a year.
Yeah, feels like 10 years probably by now.
Yeah, what you've been through the last month.
The last month has definitely been the most challenging of the, I would say, I think we're going on between 6 and 8 months. Started in September. We've had a few challenges along the way. Of course, you know, we kind of came into the big fire merger debate.
Yeah.
And then, of course, now we're in the budget cycle, and that's always primed with opinion.
Yeah,
and
always lots of opinion.
Absolutely. And so I think what we saw with our tornado and storm damage has definitely been the most consuming lately. In fact, I think the last commission meeting that I spoke, I mentioned it's quite overwhelming. If you had asked me back in September when elected that I would be intimate with FEMA paperwork, that would have, it might have been a game changer. Who knows? But it's good to meet with families. It's not good to meet with them considering the circumstances.
Yeah.
Right.
It's always good to speak with them, always good to hear their thoughts and their desires and their troubles. I wish the troubles were back to the simple things like my road needs paving.
Yeah, fix that pothole.
Exactly. People are still hurt.
They are.
It's a month later.
Many are still in shock.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
If you can imagine everything that you've accumulated over 30 years being lifted and carried away, I'm sure that there's a sense of invasiveness there, violation in some ways, but you do what you can as a commissioner, which is actually very limited. I think people have some sort of perception that we've got unlimited piggy banks and all kinds of things we can do, but what you try to do is listen, figure out how you can help, and then proceed accordingly.
Yeah. You know, you touched on something there. There is a perception in some circles that government can just fix everything, and it's really not as simplistic as that at all. Of course, we get regular updates from the Emergency Management Agency and the relief agencies on what the needs are. We're needing, yesterday we learned they're needing pots and pans and linens and pillows and hand sanitizer and all kinds of paper goods, paper products. Don't need clothes. Please don't
No.
need any more clothes. We don't need
I
any
think
more
they've
clothes.
sorted clothes out at the warehouse until they're just
They
ready
really
to
have.
throw
But
it
I was
away.
going to ask you, Adam, you, of course, closely, very close to your people out there and your constituents, and probably closer to it than some. So what are they telling you face to face? What are the needs? Are they emotional needs? Are they physical needs? Material needs? What are they needing right now?
All of the above. I think what you have now a month later is you have the intricacies are emerging of everybody's situation. The first week out after the storm, you had a situation where everybody kind of had the same immediate need, food, shelter, the basics. Now, as a lot of those needs have been met by this community, and the benevolence has been, I mean, very, very present. But as those needs have been met, you're now down to the kind of nitty-gritty of everyone's particular circumstance.
Yeah,
What
where do we go from here?
Exactly. What their insurance is doing, what they qualify for with FEMA, what their future plans to be, you know, what assets do they have personally. Working with those is a challenge.
It is.
And you know, I've called now, and I hope that we will continue the process of developing some sort of crisis case management long-term over the next 18 months.
Yeah, you and I
You'll
talked
be
about
happy.
that.
You'll be happy to
Yeah.
know that that's an integral part of the long-term recovery committee. I know you have some friends on that committee, Rob Alderman, who we won't talk about Rob. That's a whole different subject. I understand you holding the tape over his head for blackmail or something.
Yeah, amongst other things. So,
But
And we will have Rob on here in a little while.
yeah, I know. I said
Hopefully to
that's why I
defend
said
himself,
that.
So you better be nice.
Matt Ryerson, of course, close personal friend of yours, and Matt Carlson at Habitat for Humanity. And having been in those committee meetings yesterday and the day before, talking with the FEMA people and with the experts out of Missouri that came to give us some guidance on the long-term recovery for this committee, case management was center. That was something that they really focused on. So I think you'll hear a lot about that in the near future.
my people need it in the
Yeah.
fourth. They need the individualized attention and access to one telephone number. Right now they've got a Rolodex of numbers they can call for assistance, and it's overwhelming to them. They're trying to piece their life back together. And keep in mind, most of these folks still, they might have got a little bit of forgiveness, but they went back to work.
Yeah.
And in some of these communities, very blue-collar communities, people didn't work, they didn't get paid. Our employers in the community have been very kind, reached out to those folks, made sure that they were taken care of, but you know, they don't have the work day to work on their housing situation. They're doing it in the evenings.
Yeah. It's a challenge unlike any that I think this community has ever faced. And of course, we're not alone. There are other communities. I know Ringgold, of course, Joplin, Missouri. There's some areas in Chattanooga that are hit hard. But
And even up north. Massachusetts got hit yesterday.
it's just unbelievable what's happening with our weather
Absolutely. Absolutely
going
it
on
is.
around the country. Well, we've got to take another break, and your nemesis, Rob Alderman, will be on here in a few minutes. We
Maybe.
think.
Have we heard
Maybe.
of him
I
yet?
haven't heard from him.
We haven't
but
heard him yet.
he
So
may be like Adam.
we may-
just
You
pulling
would
it off
hear
his-
We'll just stretch. I think we would, but we
But-
may just stretch it and.
He has a fanfare that plays before he enters the
That's
room.
right, he does.
Yes.
I'd forgotten about that, so he must not be here
No,
yet.
we haven't heard him
Moving forward, from this point forward, what do you see a year from now with regard to the recovery and with regard to local government? Where are we going from here?
Well, I think we're in a good place. I think we have a wonderful commission right now. We still debate vigorously. as
That's
in the past.
healthy. That
that's
is
the way the
healthy.
system's set up.
And there's really it's a healthy dialogue though that we have. I appreciate that. There's men up there that I respect. We disagree quite often, but you know, I respect them. I don't think anyone's self-serving, so I think it's a great place to operate from going forward. I think our challenge in Bradley County is shifting our concept of vision. I think for so long we've made vision synonymous with foresight, but vision's really more present and future. It's not the ability to see what is coming, but the ability to see what could come.
And I think that was the reason for the strategic growth plan, the 2035 strategic growth plan. City and County, Chamber of Commerce, Cleveland Utilities partnering together in that, and that was kind of a sort of a vision for the next 25
You
years.
have to look at things
Yeah.
like that. You can't, we're not going to just sit here like this, especially when you have Vodka coming in and Amazon and all of these places. We're going to have to become ready for them.
I do think the intention is to see, okay, what is our current situation? What's going to happen? What we know that the prevailing trends tell us, and then how do we accommodate that? And how do we address it? I think it goes even a depth beyond that. I think we have to have a dialogue in this community, and I hope in my first term that we can have this. What makes Bradley County great? Okay.
I can answer that.
Go ahead.
It's people.
It's
Absolutely.
wonderful. Absolutely.
And that has
people.
shown itself this
Yeah.
past month. It really has.
But in a season where the doomsday prophets not dominate the headlines, and even great day prophets,
Yeah.
we really need visionaries at the table, not people trying to say this is what's going to happen, but people saying,
Yeah.
looking at the future as a tabula rasa, a blank slate, and saying, okay, let's use the assets that we have in this community. Let's be mindful, conservative of the things that have worked before. There are elements of this county that are wonderful, that don't need to be changed. And let's build on those things. And like you mentioned one of them, the people. The people are wonderful, they're hardworking. That's what draws industry.
And they have character.
Absolutely.
We saw the character of this community and of the people during this storm, and it's what drew me back to this community years and years ago when I left. And you learn from your mistakes. I left once, but never again.
Well, this is a great place to raise a family. It's
It
a
is.
great place to educate your children, and the 4th District is a great place to get a good mountain view.
Oh, it is.
Yes, it
And
is.
man,
That's
it's a
exactly
gateway
right.
to the Ocoee, and I love going up there. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful community. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Of course, I kind of like it out where we are too.
We're in a
Nancy.
nice area.
Yeah, the whole.
We're not in your
community.
district.
No.
I'm going to play favorites with the 4.
We've been talking to Adam Lowe, Commissioner, 4th District, Bradley County, and also an official. I'm going to give you a title, an official with the Lee University. Tell me your title again.
Director of the Annual Alumni Fund.
Director of Annual Alumni Fund. I'll
Fund.
try to remember
Okay.
that, Adam. It's always good to see Adam. We sometimes have healthy debates, but it's good that we can do that and still remain friends, and that's the way politics is.
I'm the white angel on Dan's shoulder.
Are you? Well, you know what I love
He
about
talks into this ear.
I love about our county commissioners, they represent their district.
Yeah, they do.
I may not always agree with what's being said there,
Mm-hmm.
but they are representing the people in their district, and I think they're to be commended
Yeah.
for that.
There's
They're-
a beautiful dance between representing the county interest at large and making sure you're a voice for those who've put
Who
you up
elected you,
there.
right.
Absolutely.
And bringing their sentiments to the
Yeah.
table.
One thing we didn't touch on, we can do it briefly, but there is a new commissioner that also is be like your counterpart. There's two commissioners in each district, and you now have another commissioner. Talk about him briefly.
Cliff Eason is been involved in the community. The nice thing about Cliff, without pumping him up too much, obviously what we did was we went into a search when Commissioner Thompson resigned and took resumes and reviewed a lot of candidates, and Cliff emerged as my recommendation for the seat, and the commission saw it the same and unanimously approved him. Been at work in the community and has been very quiet with his work, not a very attention-seeking individual, but been very present, very engaged. He's heavily involved with First Baptist Church, heavily involved with Kiwanis Club in Cleveland, and he has a background in assisted living, not only with special needs but with elderly, and has been for the past 10 years a transformative figure at the Teen Learning Center
Yeah.
with the city school system. Knows a budget well, knows programs well, and is a great listener. So I'm very optimistic for Commissioner Eason and his appointment on the commission. He'll serve 1 year, and then the people will choose who will fill out the remainder of that term for the last 2 years. So we went with somebody we knew could pop right in there, could read the budget during budget season, and would serve people well. And I wish Commissioner Eason the very best as he joins me in this endeavor.
Yeah.
And he's right next door to me. I could just run across
Oh, no.
the street. Yes,
Well,
I
now,
could
if
run
I'd
across
known
the
that, we
street.
might have gone with another candidate. But
I don't know him well, but I've met him briefly and was impressed with him as an individual, and look forward
I've been
to him
impressed with
being
him
on
too
the
as an
commission.
individual.
very
he'll
accessible,
do.
and I think that's what people need to know. Very accessible individual.
Commissioner Adam Lowe, we've been talking to him. It's 7:19. We're running short today, so please stay with us. Back in just a moment with more on Tennessee Valley This Morning.
Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland, is your #1 Dodge Chrysler and Jeep dealer in this area. Stop by and see the brand new 2011 Chrysler 200. The 200 is essentially a new nameplate with a significant facelift to the outgoing 2010 Chrysler Sebring. A beautiful vehicle at an unbeatable price. And while you're there, check out the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the newly designed Dodge Durango. Redesigned, revamped, and reinvigorated. Yes, the Dodge Durango is back, bigger and better than ever. Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep offers a complete parts and service department with qualified service technicians to fix and repair your vehicle. So for your next brand new or pre-owned vehicle, make it Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
I'm Dr. James Markham, host of the television program Heart of Health, seen right here on WTNB television. Thursday at 7 o'clock, Friday at 8 a.m., or Sunday at 3:30 p.m.
Volunteer Ridipest LLC has been serving Cleveland and the surrounding areas for over 40 years. Their qualified, experienced technicians are trained in all the latest techniques to keep your home pest-free. Volunteer Ridipest LLC offers Mosquito Guard, which keeps mosquitoes out of your yard and out of your life. Their monthly and quarterly treatments are backed by their 100% money-back guarantee. For all your pest removal needs, call Volunteer Ridipest LLC today at 423-472-7736.
See 2 movies this past weekend, so we can talk about that. Oh, hi, we're back.
We're
How
back.
about that?
We're back.
Man, I almost didn't bother to put my mic on
I
this morning.
know. Oh, really?
Well, you noticed Dan decided not to put his on this morning.
I heard.
Yes.
Ryan is here, and Rob, his alter ego that we've been talking so bad about, is on vacation.
I
Is
never
that
said
right?
anything bad about you, Rob.
Well,
I did not.
Yeah. Well, me and Adam said a few bad
Yes,
things.
you did.
But
And
it
I
was
tried
all
to
in good
call you
fun.
down, but you didn't
It was
listen.
all in good fun. Rob knows we're friends.
Yeah.
But Ryan's here, and we're going to, as we normally do on Friday, we're going to talk about movies.
That's right.
And I understand it's Slim Pickens this weekend.
Well, you say Slim Pickens, and that implies that maybe it's not a good film. It's actually, I think, going to be a great movie, but it is only one film. We're talking about X-Men First Class. This is, depending upon how you count it, this is the 5th X-Men film that's been made. You know, we had X-Men 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah.
and then there was a Wolverine movie, which was sort of
Right.
connected to that, and now we have X-Men First Class, which is
You know,
trying to-
I just saw the first X-Men film this week.
Really?
It was on one of the movie channels.
How'd you like it?
Well, I didn't think I would like it, but the more I watched, the more I thought, wow, this is pretty good.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you, the sequel, the second film, is even better.
Really?
It is. The third film, don't waste your time with.
Oh, kind of like Pirates. It's the way the Pirates movies were.
What happened with X-Men is the gentleman who directed and sort of spearheaded the production, his name was Bryan Singer, and he made the first 2 films, and they were great. And then he started to do pre-production on the third film, and then was offered the chance to direct Superman Returns. And so he left the project to do Superman Returns, and they brought in a guy named Brett Ratner, who was actually fired from Superman Returns for not being able to. Yeah, listen to this. The guy couldn't handle a large-scale action superhero movie, so he was fired. And then Bryan Singer went, hey, I could direct Superman Returns. And he went over to do Superman Returns, and the guy he replaced came in and ruined the X-Men franchise. So, I mean, the Superman Returns folks were right. He can't handle it.
Yeah, apparently so. And there goes his career.
Yeah, but definitely see the second one. The second one is good.
Okay, I'll rent that.
Now, this new one is a prequel, and it takes place in the 1960s. It's set against the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Okay.
So there's a lot of, it's a period piece, which is kind of neat. We've not really seen that from a superhero movie. This will be the first time we've really had a chance to see a period piece superhero film. I think that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of neat stars in it. You know, Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy, Kevin Bacon. you know, and
Right. It's nice to see Kevin Bacon return. I haven't seen him in years, it seems like.
and you know, there's
some.
something about Kevin Bacon that always looks good in a 1960s film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when you think of, like Apollo 13 and stuff, like he just looks good in the large collars with the.
Yeah. I loved him in Apollo 13.
Yeah,
that was
he's
a great movie.
He's very
And
good.
he's a talented guy. I've always, and let's see, what was the dance movie when he got
Footloose?
Footloose.
No,
yeah.
it wasn't Footloose.
It was-
Was it Footloose? No, it was. Yeah, it was Footloose.
Footloose, yeah.
For some reason, all of a sudden, I thought it was Flashdance, but that
Yeah.
was the girl with the
But
chair.
he's been around forever. Been around forever, and they just suddenly of course, he's been involved in music, I understand.
Sure.
But he's back in this movie, so I look forward to
And
seeing.
he's playing one of the bad guys.
And
too,
that's
which
out
is-
this week, right?
Oh, okay.
Yep, that starts today. It
Today.
actually started last night at midnight, as they often do with these big summer.
Yeah.
You know, they call them tentpole.
So
films.
with the X-Men movie, you giving it a thumb up or a thumb?
Oh,
Rob's not here, so he don't matter. Whatever Rob says don't matter. We'll
I
take
think
your
that
word.
Rob is grading it also, but I definitely give this one a grade. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun because it is a 60s film, and that's kind of neat. And I think that it's going to be very interesting to see how they combine a superhero story with the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh, that will be
You know, because they're integrating those stories and they're
Yeah.
making it one. I also think that the actors they've picked are really incredible, and it's a chance for them they're sort of rebooting the X-Men franchise by making a prequel. You
Yeah.
know, so they'll be able to make a sequel to this film set in the 60s.
A sequel to
and
the
sort
prequel.
of right. And they'll be able to sort of ignore, you know, the Brett Ratner garbage that happened in
Right,
X-Men 3.
right.
Yeah. You know, they can't just reboot this whole franchise because Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is a huge money bank for Marvel Studios. And so they're kind of stuck with whatever has come before because to redo it, you know, they're trapped with not being able to bank on Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And there's another Wolverine film in the works.
Yeah,
So-
well, I noticed another one too. It seems like the year for the action films.
Sure. Well, it's summertime. You know,
Yeah.
summertime's when we
Right.
see all of those. July
the-
4th is your big weekend.
I saw this weekend I went to see Pirates of the Caribbean, which I really liked. It was much better than the previous one.
Sure.
Just the previous one, just throw it out and take the three. But they had a preview for Green Lantern. What's the word on the street about that one?
Well, Green Lantern is a DC Comics superhero, and so
I didn't know. Did you
Yes,
know that?
yes,
Nancy?
I knew the Green Lantern was a, yeah.
Go
yeah.
figure.
Now DC Comics is a little bit scarier because they've made very few superhero movies that have been any good. The original, you know, the Christopher Reeve Superman film, you know, and that's really about all they've had success with. Everything else has been real, you know, just okay.
Yeah.
And so DC doesn't handle their product as well as Marvel does when it comes to film. So that's kind of a little bit concerning. But Ryan Reynolds is a heck of a little actor. The action and everything looks really great. The special effects look great.
Yeah.
And it's one of those comics that's kind of medium in popularity. You know, it's not really popular, but everybody's kind of heard of it. And so I think there's going to be a lot of people discovering the Green Lantern
Yeah.
because of the great actors they've picked and the way it looks.
Yeah.
So I
Very-
think it looks good.
According to the previews, a lot of special effects and action.
Yeah.
Very much an action movie. I intended to go see Panda 2, because I admit I'm a fan of Kung Fu Panda.
I am too.
I love the first one. Have you seen the first
No.
one, Nancy?
No.
Oh,
I
you
have
need
not.
to.
You got to see it.
Add that to the next Netflix.
I'll
bill.
do that one.
Oh, yeah, you've got to see the
I
first
did
one.
see the King's Speech
Yeah?
the other day.
Did you like it?
It was wonderful.
Yeah, it's a
It's
good one.
absolutely wonderful.
But Panda is special effects and the animation is so lifelike and so real, and the storyline is good. I just
Yeah.
like it a lot. And the second one I think is going to be even better. So I'm anxious to see that one.
I
Haven't
agree.
seen it yet.
I agree.
But so it's going to be a good weekend at the movies if you want to see one new release, and that's all we've got this weekend.
Yep, but there's still a lot of good stuff playing. You know, Thor is still out there. So is obviously The Hangover 2 is still out there. Kung Fu Panda 2 is out there. If you want to bother with Pirates of the Caribbean 4, Dan says that it's pretty good.
It's good. I took a friend with me to see it, and it was thumbs up all the way
Or
around.
if you don't want
Right.
to bother, there's a TV channel that's had 1 and 2 and 3 on for the past 2
That's
weeks.
right.
So you can just see those to catch
So
up.
you have, there's actually, for so little new films starting, there's quite a bit of options.
There is
so
quite
it's a
few.
good weekend
Yeah,
for
if you
movies.
want to get out of the heat, Just go to a movie
Oh,
theater.
God,
I just
Yes.
read this morning that yesterday was the third day in a row where we've broke a high record.
Yeah, and it looks like we're on track to do that again
Absolutely.
today. Well, hey, it's the end of the week, and we've killed another
We've
5
killed
hours.
another hour, and I think it's been fun.
Yeah, it has been fun today. I appreciate our guests coming in. Thanks to Commissioner Adam Lowe for being our guest today, and it's always fun to visit with him. He and I, we banter back and forth, but he's a good friend. And,
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy, and we enjoy him.
And we're glad Ryan
And,
came in
glad
today.
Ryan came in.
I'm glad I came in too. It
Sorry
means
that
I'm still
Rob
moving.
decided that we weren't important anymore, so he left. But anyhow,
He
glad
went
that
on
Ryan
a
is still here.
much-deserved vacation.
Yeah, he did. They're hollering at me saying, get
They
out,
are.
get out, time is up. So we're going to go, say goodbye, have a good weekend. Thanks again to Ryan. Nancy, we'll see you in the neighborhood, okay?
Yes, yes.
Have a great Friday.